Hey guys, Level Cap here, and this week in gaming, Battlefield got a new patch. Embark Studios revealed their co-op shooter, The Matrix Awakens gave us a glimpse of our gaming future, and much more. Battlefield 2042 dropped another major update this week. The update focused on fixing multiple issues like rooftop capture points for breakthrough on Kaleidoscope, Hourglass, and Orbital. This change will likely make these maps actually viable on the breakthrough game mode. The update also focuses on fixing bullet registration consistency, balance changes to vehicles and weapons such as the 40mm armor-piercing grenades properly damaging vehicles, fixing a bug where vehicle weapons sometimes did not deal blast damage on a direct hit, and improving hipfire accuracy for all SMGs to make them better stand out from other automatic weapon classes. The update also introduced audio changes to help improve clarity, distance, and directional perception. Xbox users now have an easier time opting out of crossplay through the menus, and aim assist is now more consistent for both consoles. Weekly missions are also currently active and functioning, and the first reward gives a pretty decent looking shotgun skin. DICE mentioned that this would be the last major patch before the holiday break starts, so don't expect any more significant changes until next year. It does feel like DICE is doing their best, and after having played the patch myself, I felt that it introduced some good overall changes. I'd be curious to see if DICE continues this extremely fast pace of patching and updating their game. Former EA and Battlefield boss Patrick Sutherland's new studio, Embark Studios, showcased their debut game, Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is going to be a free-to-play co-op shooter. The trailer showed some beautiful photorealistic scenery with dynamic lighting and intense large-scale combat. The game is a third-person shooter that seems to task you with protecting your planet from Ark, a mechanized alien race set to destroy your planet. It seems like you'll encounter different enemies ranging from small drones to epic level fights with giant mecha spiders. Patrick Sutherland was quoted as saying, "With this reveal, we want to celebrate gameplay and give players more than a hint of how Arc Raiders looks and what it feels like to play. Ultimately, for a co-op action game like Arc Raiders, that's what matters the most. We look forward to sharing more about the game in the coming months." You can now add the game to your wish list by going to the Epic Games Store or Steam. Arc Raiders is launching sometime next year and is one of the first major projects released by former Battlefield developers. It'll be exciting to see what these veteran Battlefield devs can do, working outside the constraints of DICE and EA. Epic released a breathtaking demo for Unreal Engine 5 called The Matrix Awakens. It's a playable experience on next-gen consoles that ties in with the Matrix Resurrections film releasing later this month. Epic Games wanted to showcase their engine and what's possible with the future of gaming, and it's safe to say the future looks bright. The playable experience begins with a 2-minute cinematic that tries to blur what is real with what is fake. Then we get to experience an on-rail shooter section with some incredibly impressive action set pieces. Once you get through those two sections, the demo gives you the option to explore the world in all of its Unreal Engine 5 beauty. And even though it's clear that this is not intended to be anything more than just a showcase of what's possible, it is still incredible. If anything, the fact that the demo doesn't really give you a whole lot to do means that what's possible is far greater than what the demo even suggests. The Matrix Awakens is available to download now for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles. There's no information on a PC release, and if you don't have access to either of those consoles, take a look at the video that I recently posted that shows off the full experience. Halo Infinite's campaign is finally here, and the reception overall has been quite positive. However, there are still some complaints popping up. The main complaint from fans is that they can't replay the campaign missions. 343 is aware of this and stated that due to the pandemic and other restrictions, they chose to prioritize a proper release while adding requested features with future updates. Replaying missions on different difficulties to complete various challenges has been one of the go-to things for players throughout the franchise's history. And sadly, along with this feature, we're also going to have to wait for co-op and Forge modes to arrive at a later date. The ETA is sometime next year. Crossfire X, the adaptation of the Asian mega hit Crossfire, which was originally released in 2007, is set to finally come to the Western market on February 10th with a launch on the Xbox Series X and S. The announcement was made during the Game Awards with a trailer showcasing some moments of the two solo campaigns. Both are being designed by Remedy Studios. In the last 15 years, Crossfire has maintained its popularity in China and South Korea, gathering a total audience of 6 670 million registered users and has a whopping 8 million concurrent daily users according to Smilegate. Pricing was not mentioned in the announcement, but Smilegate confirmed that Crossfire X would include an array of fully featured multiplayer modes that would be free to play on Xbox consoles. The Game Awards, the yearly video game show that brings fans a wide array of announcements and awards, was not all fun and games this year. The show started with host Jeff Keighley calling attention to the ongoing cases of harassment across the gaming industry. In his speech, Keighley said, and I quote, "Game creators need to be supported by the companies that employ them. I think we all agree that. So let me just say this before we get to any of the news, announcements, or awards. We should not and will not tolerate any abuse, harassment, or predatory practices by anyone, including our online communities. We all love games, and if we want this industry to keep going, we must build an even brighter and more inclusive future." Notably, Jeff Keighley got himself in some hot water last week when he commented that he would not take a side when many people wondered if Activision Blizzard games would be taking part in the Game Awards show. After some severe backlash, Keighley gave a statement on Twitter stating that Activision Blizzard would not be featured in the awards ceremony outside of its nominations. Some members of the community feel like his message was not quite focused or a bit too vague. The massive Battle Royale sensation, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, is going free to play. The once massively popular Battle Royale title is finally changing its business model to match its biggest competitors like Call of Duty Warzone and Apex Legends. The change was announced during the Game Awards. PUBG goes free to play on January 11th, 2022. And while the game will be free to play on both PC and console, some modes will require players to buy the game prior or subscribe to their new service called Battleground Plus. Battleground Plus will be a one-time payment of $13 and will give you a bonus 1300 G-Coin, a Survival Mastery XP plus 100% boost, Career Medal tab, Ranked Mode, custom game match functionality, in-game items including the Captain's Camo set, which includes hat, camo mask, and camo gloves. If you had previously owned the game, this will all be automatically given to you. Alan Wake, the action-adventure game developed by Remedy, has finally announced its long-awaited sequel. During the Game Awards, creative director Sam Lake talked about the new game being more of a survival horror genre, and the showcase trailer is as eerie as it gets, starting off with a graphic crime scene. The story then slowly pans towards the protagonist Alan Wake as he goes into monologue. Once we finally see his face, the camera cuts to black, then cuts back suddenly to showcase a bloody face followed by the current title, Alan Wake 2. We are told not to expect much more information until next summer, as the game still has quite a ways to go, being slated for a release in 2023. Before we get to our final story this week, I just wanted to say, let us know what your favorite moment of the Game Awards was. I'm curious to see what actually rung a bell with you, and of course, subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss any future content. Rocksteady finally gave us a look at their upcoming game, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. The reveal showcased some frantic action moments kind of similar to Xbox Game Studios' Sunset Overdrive. The game will feature Task Force X having to take down the Justice League as they have been mind-controlled by Brainiac. The game is also set in Rocksteady's Arkham Universe version of Metropolis, so we can count on seeing cameos from previous games. Players can control some of the squad's most iconic members, including Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang, with each member having a different style of gameplay fitting nicely to their thematic. Suicide Squad will offer both solo and co-op gameplay, with AI controlling the members of the squad not being played by real players. The game is set to come out at some point in 2022. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.